Don't get me wrong. I think it's wonderful if you are the type of feminist that thinks that feminism is about equality and that it is very concerned with the rights of men as well as the rights of women and making sure that men aren't abused and that patriarchy is a thing that hurts men just as much as women, and we need to, eradicate this patriarchy thing and everybody will be happy. And I understand that you don't want to be connected to those mean, radical, terrible feminists that hate men or that say bad things about men. But what I think is more important to understand is, as I tried to explain to a friend of mine recently who said, those aren't real feminists. Feminism is about equality, and so am I, and, I'm about the kind of feminism that is fair and open-minded and loves men and is out for the best for everybody. What I wanted to try to explain to her, what I tried to explain to her and basically failed, she didn't quite get it, was that every mainstream, polite, sweet, kind, rational-seeming feminist has at the core of their beliefs basically the same ideas as a lot of these radical feminists. And the main thread, if you boil it all down to one basic concept, the main thread that runs through all of feminism, whether you want to admit it or not, it is repeatedly put out there over and over and over again by multiple news organizations, by multiple heads of feminist organizations, by, the National Organization of Women, by the he for she thing with Emma Watson, by Lacey Green, by Andrea Dworkin, by Jessica Valente, the Feministing site, all of these things, all of these feminists have a main thread that run through their ideology, and that is basically men have all the power and they use it to oppress women, and women are oppressed and they don't have enough or any power, and that we need to equalize this by raising women up. And when you bring up that men have issues too, I hate men have issues too, men have issues, period. Just like women have issues. When you bring that up, you're often countered with, it doesn't, we need to focus on women's issues. They have things that they need to deal with, sure, but they're not nearly as important as women's issues because women are oppressed and men are privileged. And so saying that women are oppressed and men are privileged takes away the ability for most people to bring up serious problems with men, such as there are 77% of the murder rate, that there are 70+% of homeless and veterans, that there are 90-something% of wartime deaths, that they are 3 times more likely to commit suicide than women, that they're dropping out of school at much higher rates than women, that they will serve almost 3 times more time in prison for doing the same crime as a woman. So all of these issues get kind of swept under the carpet when you go back to that main thread, that main ideology of men are privileged.
And she doesn't even address what I see as a very major consideration that men today face, which is something like a mental health issue, in that there is so much responsibility placed on men socially, and there's no sense of recognition by society that these responsibilities are being placed on men. And as a woman, I can't really fully address that because I haven't experienced it, but I sometimes look at like men and the situation with men and women and wonder, how do men deal with this type of responsibility while not being supported by society? Because it sort of puts men in a position where they're almost set up to fail, and then when they fail, they still have this crushing sort of responsibility that's placed on them, like to say almost that it's their own fault. I don't know how to describe what I'm saying properly, but I think men might understand what I'm saying, hopefully.